is Monday, the 8th of April. How was everybody's Easter? Did many of you get a break? I know we were intensely busy here on Saturday, as that was the day we were open over Easter here in the store. And actually, the weather wasn't the weather sublime. I hope it was where you were. It certainly was absolutely fabulous here in the Bay. And it was lovely. I had my mum to visit, which was just wonderful. Haven't had her down for a wee while, so that was awesome. And yeah, it was just nice to sort of get out and about and enjoy the sort of last little lick of summer sunshine, even though it's early autumn. So it was really fantastic. I mean, we had some like temps in the late 20s. It was just glorious, absolutely glorious. So yes, and I have an apology to make. First thing is I had on my list to do today was draw out the winners from Flash or Stash, which I just still haven't gotten to because I have literally been in one meeting after another since I got here at 7:45 this morning. So it is definitely going to happen today, and those winners are going to go out in the newsletter, which I am going to get out this afternoon. So I promise you with all of my heart that those will go out today. The theme that we have this month is in the speakeasy is called Whip It, or Work in Progress It. And we did that really because we wanted to have the ability to be able to get everybody back knitting. This is the time that often we'll cast on a new project. It's almost like you put the summer knitting to bed, and it's now time to kick in with the winter knitting, get the next Netflix queue all up to date, or the audio book, and really, get stuck into something as the season starts to turn. Good morning, everybody. So good to see everyone here this morning. Great to have you on board. So, Easter. So with Epic Sale, of course, I've been working on my Aran jumper as a gift, and I haven't, with the sale, I just got very little knitting done. So Easter presented the opportunity to actually get some knitting done. So the first thing that happened was I completed my sleeve. I think I showed you this last week, the completed sleeve. So the first sleeve, number 1, is now done for my jumper. And what I'm knitting, for those that don't know, is it's actually, there it is, down there on the front cover, from Interweave Knits 2017, yes, from the Vintage Busky collection. And this is called the Point Judith Pullover by Josie Mercier, and from this edition, but it is available online, so I am told. So that's what I'm knitting. And super happy with this. So that's sort of, and I was a bit worried about the length, but this is for a man who's much taller and bigger than I. So I think, oh, see, there we go. Look, I should be good. So great. And this sort of acted as my swatch. And why is that, you ask, out there? Is because I have actually changed the needle size. The pattern is written to a DK. The recipient's measurements were bang on what the pattern had, and I also knew that I just wanted to add a little smidge extra ease in there. It's written pretty much with neutral ease, so I wanted a little wee bit more ease in there. So what I've gone and done is I have moved up to, in fact it might have even been a 4.5, and I'm now knitting this on a 5mm needle as my main needle size. So by doing that, it just meant that I could swatch from this, and I've just had to make, honestly, a few very minor alterations to keep this flush. It is going to give me just that little bit of smidge of ease that I'm after. Not too bad. So I have been chugging along with that. I've also decided to set another challenge for myself, because of course I cast the sleeves on using straight needles, because these are just arrived. These are our new Skeinz Beechwood needles. Oh, there we go. Look, you've got a name on them and everything. And I wanted to try them out, give them a really good test run to see how they would perform. And I have to say I loved them, which was great, because I hadn't knit with straights for ages. And I thought, no, I need to, it's really ironic. It's so funny. It's so funny. I'm knitting I'm going to knit the sweater on straight needles, and it's for a gay man. I just think that's really hilarious. He'll think that's such a hoot, and I'll tell him that. Anyway, I digress. that's, yeah, the decision I then made. I thought, oh, I've actually enjoyed this so much. I wonder whether or not, because I mean, I did the sleeve on these and I thought, oh, I wonder whether or not I would be able to do the entire garment using straight needles, because it is knitted in pieces, and theoretically I should be able to do that. And I just know that I have a number of, not necessarily so much in the videos, but there are a number of knitters that still prefer to use straight needles if they can, and don't necessarily like projects in the round. So yes, so that's my little goal for myself. I haven't looked too deeply into how the placard collar is constructed, but just having a quick look at it now, I think I should be able to get away with being able to do that. And I think it'll be kind of fun to be able to do that. So that's the little goal for the self. So anyway, I digress. So I finished this sleeve and I thought, woohoo, I'm going to jump in and cast on my new sleeve, which there's the new sleeve there, cast it on. As you can see, worked merrily, 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 merrily. And why do I have it off the needles? And I'll tell you why. I was having a great time. So that's what I did over the weekend. Pretty reasonable amount. Absolutely loving it. Happy as a clam. I watched the movie Last Christmas, which was on my queue for forever, and I really wanted to see it. Didn't get to see it in the cinemas, and I thought, no, I want a good, girlsy, trashy, sort of lovely movie. So I sat there and did that with my mum. We watched it together and I knitted away and everything was grand, until a little niggling voice in the back of my head when I kept saying, gosh, this one, it seems to be growing so much better and more readily than the other one. And oh yes, I did bring it. So when I do my notes, this is where the little niggling voice in my head came from, and hopefully, and have I left the notepad for this? Must have left that at home. Oh yes, it'll be sitting on the chair at home. So I have showed you before how I write out my rows. So for the sleeves, I sort of had this grid of numbers, it looks sort of like a cipher, written out, which tracks my rows. And in there, I then annotate against each row when I do a wishbone cable or a braid cable, so I know when to cable without having to keep referring back to the pattern. I also put in there the increasings. And along there, I made little annotations because of sleeve number 1 with the increasings, because I did have to play around just a smidge with the final increasings to get to the number that I needed to shape the cap, because obviously my row gauge is a little bit different because I'm on a larger needle. And I was at a midway point where I'd put a little note from sleeve 1 to check my stitch count, to make sure that I'm on track. So I thought, I've reached that point, I'll count my stitches, count, count, and it was 8 stitches less than I thought I needed to be. And I thought, oh, okay, that's weird. I'll count them again. Count, 8 stitches less. And I'm thinking, okay, I know I can't have forgotten to increase 4 times. That's weird. Maybe once, twice potentially, but forgotten to increase 4 times? That sounds odd. So I went back through and I had a good look at everything. And then that's when the light bulb went off. And I realised I'd cast on the wrong size, hadn't I? Right from the outset. So I'd cast on a size, so I'd cast on 4 or 6 stitches. I'd missed one set of increases, which I thought I might have done. So I'd cast on 6 stitches less than I needed to, and then realised. And so then started the, will I be able to fudge this? So I had my original sleeve and I'm holding that up. Then I'm getting this guy. I'm holding that up over the top. And as you can see, it is distinctly smaller. So then I'm saying to myself, wow, actually I could tighten I could change how I stitch, because there's no changes. This portion of the pattern, the middle portion of the pattern, is fine. It's the moss. I haven't done enough mossing. And actually, if I lay these two side by side, you can see it quite clearly there. See? I haven't done enough mossing. And I thought to myself, can I fudge this? And the only way I could fudge it was when I seamed this. I actually seamed this more aggressively through this bottom portion, which then would have left a very, very thick seam on the inside. Now, if I was knitting this for me, I possibly would have done that because it's for me. The only one that would know was me. But I'm not knitting it for me. I'm knitting it as a gift for a very, 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 very dear friend. And I want it to be as perfect as possible for him. So I sat there and expletives were espoused because I just realised that there was no way I'm going to, no ifs, and, ors and buts around getting around this, and that I'd lost an entire weekend's worth of knitting. Well, I hadn't lost it really because I actually thoroughly enjoyed doing it. It made me happy, so nothing was lost there. Oh. And this is why now this is off the needles, because and I'm going to flick this around so you can see it. So as soon as I finish there is our Are you all sick now? I've got motion sickness from that little, sorry about that. There's the ball winder. And I'm going to wind that back. I'm going to wind this back off. However, so I popped it aside. So I discovered this on, what are we now? Today's Thursday. So I discovered this on Monday. So then I popped that aside. Oh, now I'm getting my tits in a tangle over here. Oh gosh, what have I done now? Because I've got all these part balls rolling around. So I thought, oh, there we go. Let's get this. I thought, right, I need to just put this down and just have a little moment and some time out. And I need to start again. And I didn't actually do any more knitting. What I should have done is actually finish off that little baby's cardigan, which I still haven't finished. And I've only got sleeves to do. Anywho, God, that child's going to be born by the time I get it done. So I've decided, no, I need to, oh gosh, I'm going to worry about that later, and I'm going to hold this up and hopefully don't get myself more tangled. So I thought, no, I'm going to have a bit of time out with it. And then on Tuesday, I worked from home from Tuesday, got a lot done, and then I finished, and I thought, no, actually, Maree, that's okay. Because I was doing the sleeves first because I was going to do them for swatching. Usually I would do the sleeves last if I was working in pieces. So, you know, the other thing that was going through my head on Monday is, of course, I had Ethan in my head going, Jesus, Maree, just rip it out. In fact, what he was saying in my head was vastly more expressive, but, you know, family show and all of that. Yes, and I know that that's what he would have done. He would have just ripped it out and done it. And I thought, actually, you know, I need to follow best practice and advice and rip it out. So then on Tuesday, I thought, you know what, actually, Maree, let's go back to basic principles and just cast on the back. So I have, which then this makes it look so small. So obviously it's a squeeze because I'm just doing it on the straight needles, but not such a squeeze, to be fair, that I'm finding it uncomfortable to knit and the stitches are railing off the end of the needle. In fact, this is probably quite comfortable because the stitches are all nice and close together on the needle. They're actually flowing through very, very quickly. So let me turn it around so you can see the right side and spread out a little so you can see what I'm doing. So as you can see, there's the beginnings. I've done the first few crosses, and I've also instituted my marker system there again, which actually just divides out all the different panels of the work, which then makes my life really, really easy on what I think it's, you know, what I think I need to do and calculate everything out and so on and so forth. So that's where I'm at with my project. And it just goes to show that, yeah, even those who, you know, do profess to know what they're doing, cock it up sometimes. So that's okay. So I'm going to work on the back. And then you know what I love about the back compared to the sleeves? No shaping until I get up to the armhole, which is fabulous because I now literally have, I've charted this one out too, written, this one's much easier to chart out because it is literally, I'm just counting off the rows and then just putting in where I'm doing my cabling in each one. And it's like kind of, it's almost like the Aran version of doing vast amounts. Sorry, I've just little stitch just popped off the end. It's like the Aran version of doing vast amounts of stocking stitch. It's actually not that difficult, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. So there they are there. So that's where I'm at with this. So the nice thing is I've also accepted the fact that I'm not going to get it done in time for his birthday because his birthday is actually on Anzac Day. But that's all right. I think I'll be seeing him, so I think he'll know. I think the fact that I can show him and go, look, after a decade, I finally succumbed and I'm actually knitting you something, will be, he'll be happy enough with that. So that'll be quite good. Right. So that's where I'm at. That is where I'm at. Now, one of the things too, in terms of works in progress, and I've got nothing else to show you on that score, but in terms of works in progress, I absolutely love the fact that you guys have been putting up all your works in progress because that has been awesome. And so much of those have been done in yarns that you got from the epic sale, which is awesome. Well, Joanne's just saying she cast on a gingerbread over Easter and knitted most of the garter band when she discovered it. Yes, twisted stitches. I've done that before too. Rocked along and then realised, oh, I should have been knitting into the back of the stitch the entire time. Yeah, I know. And see, she's saying she pulled it all out but hasn't cast on yet. And that's the temptation, isn't it? You have a moment and you think, I just can't, naughty corner, I can't bear it. And when something is in the round, and it's all done in one piece, you do that. Like you just sort of throw it off into one corner and just banish it because you just can't bear the thought of it. That's the nice thing about this being modular. At least I can start working on the back and it's like the sleeves, no, I can do back and front and then I'll go back and do that errant sleeve. So it's, yeah. I know it's psychological. This is crazy. Not psychology, but it's a thing. It is a thing. So that's, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. But no, back to Epic Sale. Loving seeing what's there. I've seen a few of these pop up. This is Love Note from Tin Can Knits. I've seen a few of these pop up with the mohair. Many of you that picked up that Whisper mohair. And I actually had Peter here this morning, gave him a little nudge on the Skeinz mohair, rather, the new Whisper version. That version was supposed to be, but there was just wasn't quite right. So we've now got the new version coming, and that's coming in both actually that fine weight as well as a DK. The yarn's all been spun. I just need to see where it is in production. So we've got that being worked on. But if you manage to get some of that, this is such a quick, satisfying knit. And someone I know whipped it out super fast. To be fair, I did this not the summer gone, the summer before, and I did mine. Yeah, this was like I was away on holiday and I did it while I was away, and it was really quick. I'm quite keen to do another one, but I'm waiting for that mohair to come back in, and I thought I might do one with the Cascade lace because that would just be gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you picked up the Cascade lace, make sure you check out Vila from Truly Myrtle. That is such a perfect pattern for that lace. I think I popped it in the newsletter that I whipped out across Easter, and that's what I'm going to do today. Is I'm going to, in the newsletter today, I'm going to have a look at some other ideas for things that you can knit using stuff that you may have picked up during the Epic sale, and you've already got sitting in stash, so you can get cast on and get cracking on to make that happen. I haven't even checked. Should we do it now? Go on, let's go on, because we can. Let's have a quick look. I have got the worst hay fever today. I have been sneezing like you would not believe. It has driven me bonkers. Honestly, driven me bonkers. Anywho, Let's have a little look. So let me just do this. See if it'll allow me to do this. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Stop it. Okay. And hopefully we don't get the blue screen of death today like we do sometimes. Right, let's do this. Let's have a look here, people. Who does this? I do this all the time, honestly. I just get to think and I think, oh, what's out? Oh, there we go. Look, oh, this is new. Debut patterns, or have I just never seen it? Huh, look at that. Okay, right. No, I like looking at the top 20. So let's have a look at the top 20. Oh, no, I want to look at on big pages, please, people. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Browse in this order. There we go. I'm having a moment. Look. Oh, oh, oh. There we go. Look at that. The things one finds. Look at that. Our friend Jennifer has got a new design out. Oh, okay. Hands up. Who has got some Southlander Sport in the collection? Look at that. Southlander Sport, that would look absolutely fantastic. Cream oatmeal and goldenrod. There are some really nice options there. That's a wee sweetie. And actually, they're saying that's using a 5-ply. Who picked up, see now, some of the incognito, but also what's her gauge? Let's have a look at the wee lassie. Oh, there we go, 3.75 and 3.5. That's definitely in my zone. This would look fabo also in Little Bandit. If you've got any Little Bandit like that in Deerings, that's Deering Scallywag. And, you could throw in a bit of Southlander in there. There's definitely some potential there if you've got some of that. I would even have a little play around with Outlaw Bohemia on that one as well. So there's some really nice potential there. Or Cove. Who's got Cove? Now, I know we didn't have a lot of Cove in that epic sale, but a lot of you stashed that from at the end of last year. That's a doer, isn't it? There we go. That's oh, we like that. So what that one's called, Forsythian. Oh, there we go. Okay, look at that. Oh, very good, very good. I like doing this. This is fun. Oh, here we go. What's Caitlin Hunter up to? Let's see what she's doing. Well, okay. So what we've got here is she's saying a 10-ply. So what's this? Is this a big, lovely shawl, is it? Oh, it is. So this, with that as a shawl, let's have, oh, look at that. So that definitely, I mean, to me, that speaks Southlander bulky, but also to the incognito. If some of you picked up some of the incognito, particularly at the Wellington pop-up, where I had a lot of incognito that wasn't in store, but that just to me, that screams, particularly looking at that gauge, that screams Southlander bulky to me, doesn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. If you're looking for a rustic shawl and an Aran shawl, and look, there's that wishbone cable there running through the center of that spine. That's exactly the same wishbone cable I'm doing at the minute. That's actually quite sweet. That's really sweet. So there you go. If you've got some Southlander bulky, that is a good do. Or you could probably stretch it with the vintage abroad as well. So that's definitely something there. Oh gosh, there's lots of little it's just finding things that we know that you're able to get hold on. Let's see. Oh, what's that little crochet square? But oh, there's lots of lovely little. Oh, here we go. What's this? Oh, let's check this first, actually. Again, now I wonder, gosh, are they working that double? They'd have to be working that double. What about for hems? Oh, you must be knitting that double at that weight. It's a 10-ply, surely. Well, that's interesting. Now, this, looking at this, let's ignore the yarn that they've used, but looking at that and those needle sizes, if you picked up some of the 14 ply, so there was the warm, but there was also, and even batch, I mean, it's a bit of a stretch for the batch if I'm brutally honest. This is, I think, another classic example of the American expansion of ease. I would be looking at a 14 ply on that, but that's actually a really fun looking quick knit. Let's look at this one next to it. See, this is fun. I like doing this. Oh, this is brand new. Here we go. Vintage abroad. This has got vintage abroad written all over it. 10 ply, 19 stitches. Perfect. Vintage or Southlander, but you see, gosh, that in Southlander Bracken. God, that screams Southlander Bracken, doesn't it? So does that. Look at that. Screams it. Screams it. Foxy red right there. Oh, actually, look at that hot chili. So, yeah, either of these. I love, look at that. That's a really, look at that lovely little feather. It's sort of sleeve detail. That's quite sweet. A little bolero style cardigan. So that's another one to consider. So there's plenty. I haven't actually had a look for ages. Look at that. There's plenty to be had. Okay. Plenty to be had. Enough of that now. Enough of that. Oh, no, let's hide. Let's do that. Are we going to have me back? Boom. Look at that. There we go. Rachel, you're about to cast on Emsworth by, in Southland Sport, by Isabel Kramer. Love the Isabel Kramer. Absolutely love it. Yes, so have a little look around. I'm going to have a little dive back into that for the newsletter today and see what I can dig up for you to have a good look at. Now, I'm also on Monday. Claire and I are just cooking up a few things for early next week before the school holidays. I know. It only seems like, I mean, with Easter, and most kids are back in school holidays from the end of next week. But one of the things, if you've got kids coming to stay with you, you've either got your own children at home or you've got grandchildren coming to stay and you're looking for something to do, you might want to stock up. We've just stocked up on these, the needle felting kits. These are two newbies that we've just got in from Ashford's. That's the seal, that's the penguin. I mean, we just love them, as well as the sheep and the tui and the pukeko that we already had. And we also got the 3D flowers in, that one there. And this flower kit's $9.25. I think the sheep kit's somewhere in that range. These other kits are $15. They are a fantastic crafty activity to do with the kids. Sort of really any age, primary school up. It's the sort of thing that they can do. They can sit down and it's a really great crafty idea. And everything that you need for the kits are there and supplied from Ashford's. They do a really great job with that. And I'm going to come up with some more ideas for you guys on Monday as well to give you plenty of time to get those ordered in if you need them for school holidays. But I'm going to stop yabbering. I know it's only half an hour, but I want to get that newsletter out. I want to pick those winners. I've got a whole bunch of things that I want to get organised and ready for you, for the rest of the week and the weekend ahead. Can you do, Cheryl's just asked, can you do a love note without the mohair? Yes, and this is one here, Cheryl. So this is love note knitted in our Cove DK, an equivalent to this. This is, Cove is coming back, everybody. I know it's completely sold out now. A new batch is on the board to be done. But you could use, this is a standard DK. So if you've got Chatswood actually in your stash, you could use this, but any DK. And I know a number of people that have knitted this in DK. Now, I have knitted this almost exactly to how they've written, but I've written it to the sizing that they have done in terms of needle sizing. And it does use a 6mm needle. So there are two things about that, Cheryl. It makes it super fast to knit, but and you can actually see it just slightly there on that sleeve. I have had it where I've snagged it and pulled this, and I've actually had to go back and do a few sort of running repairs because it will catch because it's such a loose gauge, and also too you've got to watch the pilling. I do depill this probably every second, third, or fourth wear. I have to give it a little bit of a spruce up because of the pilling and stuff. So that is something to be aware of. However, I had someone very close to me who's knitted this, and they knitted it in Pearl, but which is very same construction as Orb. And what I suggested, she loved mine and she wanted to do one, and I said, you know what? There is so much positive ease built into this pattern, like loads and loads of it. I said to her, drop your needle size back to a 5mm needle and do it on the DK in 5mm and see how you get on. And they did that, and it looked fantastic. It was much, much better. It still had that soft sort of drapey effect that the designers were after, using a DK yarn, but it had a little bit more structure to it, and the lace held really well. It still had more than enough positive ease, and it actually performed better on a 5mm needle than a 6. And this is someone that would have got engaged either way. So yeah, that's my advice on that. The other thing too, if you're wanting to do this love note and you wanted to do it on the 6mm needle, I wouldn't actually use the DK yarn, but I would use the vintage board and the 10-ply. And that's the other way around it, is to upsize, do it as written as on a 6mm needle, but actually increase your yarn weight a little bit, or even jump to a 12-ply, so the batch 12-ply or the 12-plies we had in the epic sale, and that would give you a really great garment that would sit and work, and it'd be a little bit heavier, but yeah, you can sort of mix and match. The one thing I will give that this garment, it is very, very easy to modify, in the sense that it's, play around with the yarns and the weights. In terms of working out, because of the level of positive ease in here, it's not a garment designed to be close fitting. It is designed to work quite well. Bronwyn's saying 2 strands of 4-ply for love note would probably work too. Yeah, it possibly would, and particularly more. I wouldn't use a machine superwash 4-ply. I would use a 4-ply that's non-machine washable. I think that would work even better. This is one of these garments that, because of the free nature of it, I actually think a non-superwash yarn tends to be a little bit better with this. Call me crazy, I don't know why, but that's just me, really. Alrighty. You're welcome, Cheryl. She said thank you very much. So thank you very much too for the question. Okay, I'm going to head off and get all this work done, and I need to blow my nose because it's jolly frickin' hay fever. But until then, I will see you. I'll catch you guys on Monday. So I'll be here on Monday. See you then. Have a great weekend. And yes, I will give you an update on how my knitting is going, and hopefully no more knitting disasters between now and then. Okay, have a great weekend, and I'll talk to you Monday. Bye.